Hey 5K. So as promised, I said that I would read you a story, and I'm sitting outside on my porch, and I love my porch. Oh, and Roper just took off after a squirrel. So I'm bundled up on my porch, and the book is called Treasure Hunters, and it's by James Patterson, and he writes adult fiction, and now he has branched off into the realm of young adult fiction, which I think is pretty darn cool. So, I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping that I will be able to figure out how to flip the phone so that you can see, because the illustrations, well, or we can just do this. The illustrations are pretty cool. All right, so a quick note from Bic Kid. Just so you know, I'm the one who will be telling you this story, but my twin sister Beck, who is wickedly talented and should go to art school or show her stuff in a museum or something, will be doing the drawings, like the one over there on the left. Okay, don't mind the traffic noise, okay? I'm telling you this up front because even though we're twins, Beck and I don't always see everything exactly the same way. For instance, I don't like the way that she drew me. I'm 12. I don't have a mustache or an eye patch. So, don't believe everything that you see. Okay, hopefully I'll figure this out, guys, so just bear with me, all right? Fine. Beck says I have to tell you not to believe everything I say either. Whatever. Can we get on with the story? Good. Hang on tight. Things are about to get very hairy and wet. Very, very wet. Prologue, Lost at Sea, Chapter 1. Let me tell you about the last time I saw my dad. We were on deck. Okay, let me see if I can, okay, just bear with me. I'm going to see if I can figure this out, if I can flip the screen. You know how much I love technology, right? I'll have to ask somebody. Okay. We were on deck, rigging our ship to ride out what looked like a perfect storm. Well, it was perfect if you were the storm. Not so much. Okay, I just had to laugh because there is a squirrel, and this squirrel is definitely not happy with Roper right now because he's got the squirrel up a tree. He's totally cool like that. Roper! Hup! He'll be back. All right, we were up on deck, rigging our ship to ride out what looked like a perfect storm. Well, it was perfect if you were the storm. Not so much if you were the people being tossed around on deck, like wet gym socks in a washing machine. We had just finished taking down and tying off the sails so that we could run on bare poles. Lash off the wheel, my dad barked to my big brother, Tailspin Tommy. Steer her leeward and lock it down. Okay, so like I said, the illustrations are really, really technical. On it. Tommy yanked the wheel hard and pointed our bow downwind. He looped a bungee cord through the wheel's wooden spokes to keep us headed in that direction. Now get below, boys. Batten down the hatches. Help your sisters man the pumps. Tommy grabbed hold of whatever he could to steady himself and make his way down into the deckhouse cabin. Just then, a monster wave, lurched over the starboard side of the ship and swept me off my feet. I slid across the slick deck like a hockey puck on ice. I might have gone overboard if my dad hadn't reached down and grabbed me a half second before I became shark bait. Time to head downstairs, Bic, my dad shouted into the raging storm as rain slashed across his face. No, I shouted back. I want to stay up here and help you. You can help me more by staying alive and not letting the Lost go under. Now hurry, get below. But. Go. He gave me a gentle shove to propel me up the tilting deck. When I reached the deck house, I grabbed onto a handhold and swung myself around and through the door. Tommy had already headed down to the engine room to help with the bilge pumps. Suddenly, a giant sledgehammer of salt water slammed into our starboard side and sent the ship tipping wildly to the left. I heard wood creaking. We tilted over so far that I fell against the wall while our port side slapped the churning sea. We were going to capsize, I could tell. But the Lost righted itself instead, the ship tossing and bucking like a very angry beached whale. I found the floor and shoved the deckhouse hatch shut. I had to press my body up against it. Waves kept pounding against the door. The water definitely wanted me to let it in. That wasn't going to happen, not on my watch. I cranked the door's latch to bolt it tight. I would, of course, reopen the door the instant my dad finished whatever else needed to be done up on deck and made his way aft to the cabin. But for now, I had to stop the Lost from taking on any more water, if that was possible. The sea kept churning. The Lost kept lurching. The storm kept sloshing seawater through every crack and crevice that it could find. Me? I started panicking because I had a sinking feeling, as in we were going to sink, that this could be the end. I was about to be drowned at sea. Is 12 years old too young to die? Apparently the Caribbean Sea didn't think so. Okay, so there are a lot of vocab terms in this, and my cousin Karen is actually a sailor. So I'm going to ask her later which port and starboard is, and aft, and batten down the hatches, and other things. I'm going to ask her some technical terms, and I'm sure she will be delighted to tell me because she's kind of bossy like that. So, also, I looked it up. I've always pronounced it Caribbean. Some people pronounce it Caribbean. Both are right. Caribbean is the way that the islanders say it. So, Mon, I must be an islander, Mon, which is pretty cool. But a lot of Americans call it the Caribbean. So, stay tuned for chapter 2 tomorrow. Peace out.